My beloved child, listen carefully. There are moments in life when a person stands at a crossroads without fully realizing how important that moment truly is. Two directions appear. One feels familiar, safe, predictable, comfortable. The other feels uncertain, demanding, risky. Most people spend their lives trapped between those two choices. Comfort or growth, fear or purpose, security or transformation. But every once in a while, someone refuses both options. Someone does something unexpected, something uncommon, something powerful enough to disrupt expectations, challenge limitations, and shift the trajectory of an entire future. And my child, that person is becoming you. Because I prepared possibilities before you. But you chose something different. Something deeper. A third path. A path built not from comfort, not from fear, but from courage. People thought they understood your future because they understood your history. They believed your past would determine your destination. They assumed your failures would weaken your spirit. They assumed your struggles would eventually convince you to settle for less. They assumed pain would shrink your vision. That fear would manage your choices. That disappointment would teach you to expect little from life. But they misunderstood what was growing inside you. Because there comes a moment when a person becomes tired of surviving beneath their potential. Tired of allowing fear to make decisions. Tired of repeating patterns that produce emptiness instead of fulfillment. Tired of shrinking themselves just to remain acceptable inside environments uncomfortable with growth. And when that moment arrives, everything changes. The safe path no longer feels alive. The difficult path no longer feels impossible. Instead, a new direction appears. A path built from purpose, discipline, vision, resilience, faith, transformation. But hear me clearly, this third path is not easy. Because real growth demands evolution. It demands that you outgrow excuses, outgrow old habits, outgrow old fears, outgrow outdated versions of yourself. Many people avoid this road because it offers few guarantees in the beginning. No immediate applause. No instant validation. No early proof that success waits ahead. Only belief. Only consistency. Only the quiet decision to keep walking even while uncertainty surrounds you. And that choice changes timelines. The version of you that accepted limitation could never reach the future prepared for you now. Growth required discomfort. Purpose required sacrifice. Strength required struggle. Every difficult season you survived carried hidden preparation. Life was building resilience before responsibility. Wisdom before influence. Discipline before opportunity. And still, you kept moving. Even when nobody understood your vision. Even when progress looked invisible. Even when doubt whispered, go back. Choose safety. Choose comfort. Stop trying. You continued. And that decision separated you from the crowd. Because most people choose familiarity. Average feels safe. Predictable feels manageable. But extraordinary lives rarely grow inside comfort zones. Pressure reveals hidden strength. Adversity reveals hidden potential. Challenges expose who is willing to evolve. And the path you chose demanded evolution. It demanded that you stop waiting for permission to become powerful. Too many people delay purpose while waiting for validation. Waiting for approval. Waiting for everyone to understand their dream before taking action. But hear this deeply, vision was never designed for universal understanding. Sometimes purpose will confuse people committed to limitation. That does not mean you are wrong. It means you are different. And different paths create different destinies. My beloved, every major breakthrough begins internally before it appears externally. Before life changes around you, something must transform within you. Mindset changes. Standards rise. Focus sharpens. Discipline strengthens. Priorities shift. Distractions lose power. That is exactly what happened when you chose this path. You stopped merely surviving. You started transforming. The old version of you feared failure. The new version fears wasted potential. The old version pursued comfort. The new version pursues purpose. That shift matters more than you realize. Because when a person aligns with purpose, life begins responding differently. New opportunities appear. Unexpected connections form. Hidden strengths awaken. Doors begin opening. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you became stronger. But hear me carefully. Transformation also carries loneliness. Few people talk about this part. Growth separates. Some relationships weaken when you stop limiting yourself. Some people criticize your ambition because your courage exposes their fear. Some environments become uncomfortable because your evolution reminds others of their stagnation. Do not reduce your potential to maintain comfort for people unwilling to grow. You were never designed for an ordinary path. That is why your thinking feels different. That is why your struggle looked uncommon. That is why something inside you keeps whispering, there is more. Because there is. The third path was never rebellion against purpose. It was deeper alignment with it. Sometimes faith is not choosing between two expected options. Sometimes faith is having courage to build a new direction entirely. A direction built from vision instead of fear. Growth instead of comfort. Purpose instead of limitation. And because of that choice, your future is already changing. You may not see full evidence yet. But movement is happening. Every disciplined decision builds momentum. Every sacrifice strengthens capacity. Every challenge overcome builds character. Every delay develops endurance. Do not turn back now. The third path always feels uncertain before it becomes extraordinary. One day, people will look at your life and admire the strength they once questioned. The confidence they once misunderstood. The success they never predicted. The wisdom forged through invisible battles. But only you will remember what it cost to become this version of yourself. Only you will remember the nights fear felt louder than purpose. Only you will remember the temptation to settle. Only you will remember the moment you decided you would no longer remain average. That moment changed everything. So keep moving. Keep building. Keep evolving. Keep trusting the process even when visible results arrive slower than expected. Because heaven is no longer watching who you used to be. It is watching who you are becoming. And who you are becoming is stronger than fear, wiser than limitation, more disciplined than distraction, more aligned than ever before. The path may still feel uncertain. Growth may still feel uncomfortable. Results may still feel delayed. But remember this, uncertainty does not cancel destiny. Difficulty does not erase purpose. Delayed evidence does not mean invisible progress. You are becoming prepared for responsibilities larger than your current perspective. Continue. Even when approval is absent. Even when progress feels hidden. Even when doubt attempts negotiation. Continue. Because extraordinary futures belong to people willing to grow beyond ordinary thinking. And you were never created for a small life. If this message spoke directly to your spirit today, Type "I choose purpose over fear" in the comments as your declaration of growth, courage, and transformation. Share this message with someone trapped between comfort and calling, fear and purpose, safety and growth. Like, subscribe, and join this growing community for more powerful God messages, mindset breakthroughs, purpose-driven encouragement, and transformational motivation. Remember, comfort preserves who you were. Purpose reveals who you can become. The third path may be difficult, but it leads to the future you were created for.